These ingredients are in most of the foods you're buying right now, and they are quietly wrecking your health. If you want to thrive in 2026, I'll show you exactly what you want to avoid, why, and I'll show you the better for you swaps so we can be healthy in the new year. This video is also sponsored by Thrive Market, but more on that later. Food number one we have to avoid is seed oils. You've been hearing about them a lot, but they're horrible. And walk around the grocery store, 70% of the foods here have the dreaded seed oils. And that's bad for us because these golden colored bottles are incredibly inflammatory for our bodies. And a lot of us have chronic inflammation. This adds fuel to the fire. Have you ever wondered why all of these bottles, whether it's canola, vegetable, soybean oil, they're all golden in color? That's done on purpose to make it look beautiful and healthy to us. These oils are processed to death. And my friends, when I say they're in everything, I mean they're in everything. Oh, look at this. A lovely whole wheat loaf of bread with soybean oil right there. How about our favorite mayonnaise from the South, made with GMO soybean oil? Your favorite plant-based milk with rapeseed oil, aka canola oil. How about some protein powder for those gains, made with sunflower and canola oil in there? Hey Ma, how about some Sunny D juice? Sure, Timmy. How about a little side of canola oil also? Or your favorite coffee creamer at the workplace here with the dreaded hydrogenated seed oils. Why do they put those in there? Because they're cheap. And they're all about profits over people, but they're horrible for us. And these are the kind of oils we grew up with. So what are the swaps we can do? Because that's what this video is all about. Well, come down with me. Anytime a recipe calls for canola oil or vegetable oil, that's a high heat oil. Swap it 1-to-1 with something I have at home in my pantry. Avocado oil, that works for baking too. If you want really good olive oil, only stick with single origin extra virgin olive oil. You need something for baking perhaps. Well, how about extra virgin coconut oil? How about grass-fed butter? How about you walk around the grocery store and instead of buying your favorite mayonnaise with soybean oil, you get my favorite mayonnaise with avocado oil. How about whole wheat bread made with extra virgin olive oil? How about the best protein on the market, Flav City protein with no oils, no emulsifiers at all? Once you start to get those out of your diet, you'll feel better, inflammation goes away, and it's the biggest step we can go to getting healthy in the new year. Now, next up, I'm gonna show you a swap for something that almost everybody gets wrong. The type of salt we use can greatly affect our health. And raise your hand, is this the kind of table salt you grew up with? The problem is, this is a highly bleached, processed, refined salt. You know the key giveaway for this? Look on the back here. It's not just salt, it has anti-caking agents, dextrose, and then the added iodine. This one right here has yellow prusinate of soda. These are anti-caking agents. My friends, you see what I just saw? This has dextrose added to it. What is it? That's sugar. They add all these dextrose and anti-caking agents so they flow out really easily. But this is nothing but processed sodium chloride. It's been stripped of all its natural minerals, and to do that, it's been highly processed, bleached, and refined. It's not good for us at all. This is the kind of salt you have to stop cooking with immediately. So what do? Unrefined salt, my friends. The easiest swap would be to get something like Himalayan pink salt. Unrefined salt, and you can see all the trace minerals. It'll have up to 90 trace minerals. You know what salt I use at home? They actually have it here at Walmart. Celtic sea salt. This is hand-harvested salt from the French coast in Brittany. I've heard good things also about Baja Gold mineral salt. I think Gary Brecka talks about it. It's unrefined salt from Mexico. The difference between any type of unrefined salt, including, by the way, look, even this third-party brand, Mediterranean sea salt. If it's just one ingredient, unrefined sea salt, you're good to go. The difference between these and the types that we grew up with are night and day. It's the easiest swap you can do for a better health alternative. How about popcorn? They specifically call out the Himalayan pink salt. Good for them. How about my Flav City electrolytes? I specifically call out the unrefined ancient sea salt, which is superior for hydration. Those kind of swaps, albeit small, can make huge, huge improvements in our health, just like the sugar I'm gonna show you in 1 second. When it comes to sugar, the stuff behind me, the average American consumes 17 to 18 added teaspoons of sugar per day. And keep in mind, there is no recommended daily amount, but that's a crazy amount considering the level of obesity is at all-time highs. Type 2 diabetes, inflammation, sugar destroys your gut microbiome, my friends. And the problem is the amount of sugar in foods at the grocery store is alarmingly high in the foods we eat every day. Let's just show soda. We know it has a lot of sugar, but look, it's not even cane sugar, it's corn syrup. To the tune of 39 grams of added. Even this healthy organic bread has 4 grams of added cane sugar per slice. Award-winning barbecue sauce with high fructose corn syrup, 16 grams added. Raspberry yogurt sounds yummy with 17 grams of added sugar. Ooh, cereal made with whole grains and 11 grams of added sugar and corn syrup. And a nice bottle of coffee with 30 grams of added sugar. Do you see how it adds up so quickly? It's scary, my friends. So what do? Well, I got multiple swaps for you. At home, instead of cooking with sugar, I don't care if it's cane sugar, turbinado sugar, whatever, swap it out with honey is a lovely substitute. I'm very, very fond of coconut sugar, a 1-to-1 substitute with cane sugar. Maple syrup is fantastic too. They also make maple sugar. You stir that in your coffee, it's great. Or how about agave nectar? All those sweeteners I just showed you are paleo, lower glycemic sweeteners that beat the pants out of regular cane sugar because they're unrefined, unprocessed. And the same kind of products I just showed you there's easy swaps. A very high quality cereal with no added sugar, a very high quality granola sweetened with maple syrup, plain Bobby approved yogurt, you add your own sweetener if you want, and a soda sweetened with cassava root and stevia. And technically these type of sodas do have natural flavors, which are not Bobby approved, but I'd still rather you drink them instead of regular soda with the corn syrup or diet soda with the artificial sweeteners, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, so don't go away. But first we gotta throw some love to the sponsor of the video, Thrive Market. Longtime supporter of the channel. My link down below gets you 30% off your first order and a free gift. The reason why I like Thrive is pretty much anything you get at a normal grocery store, they're on Thrive, but it's cheaper. You save about 32 bucks compared to going to the store, and the box comes to your house. I'm gonna type out a list of all the things I order on Thrive Market on the regular and put it in the description box down below. And once again, my link down there gets you 30% off your first order and a free gift. Check it out. And next up, we'll move on to another item you got to avoid. So many of the breads available at the grocery store are so bad for us. And bread can be a very nutrient-dense, filling thing. But when they use one ingredient called enriched wheat flour, they just took all the nutrition out and totally screwed us. So let me show you what I mean, for example. Here's a honey wheat bread. Well, wheat is supposed to be good, right? Well, when you see enriched flour, that's the worst kind of flour you can get. This is an artisan brioche bread with enriched wheat flour. This is a ancient grain bread with enriched flour. I don't think our ancient forefathers were using enriched wheat flour. Flour is a whole grain, but to make it enriched means they process it to death. They strip away all the fiber, all of the bran, all the healthy stuff. And what do they do then? Look, they fortify it back in with vitamins like iron, riboflavin, and folic acid. Because they stripped it all out in the first place. They stripped away the fiber for you and I, and they basically gave us the cruddiest carb possible that has no nutrition, spikes our blood sugar, and brings us right back down. So we have to eat whole wheat bread flours. I see 2, for example, right here. Look at this. This is not just whole flour. The other ingredients are great, and it's freshly milled organic wheat flour. Look at this. This is nothing but organic whole wheat flour, nuts, seeds, and grains. Right here, I'm linking to a video I did last year ranking all the best breads at the grocery store in S-tier form. Eating the right whole wheat bread can really make the difference between good nutrient-dense bread and bad ones. Next up, do not go anywhere. We're talking about artificial sweeteners to buy and to avoid. There are some sweetener alternatives that are very good for us, But the ones that are most common, that are used in almost all the diet foods, hint, hint, are really bad for us. Their generic names are sucralose, aspartame, saccharin. The brand names are right here. I'm not going to say the brand names because I don't want to get sued. But these are the kind of artificial sweeteners that are devastating for our health, devastating for our gut, devastating for our brain, because they're 100% artificial, man-made in a lab, and the science is out there, they're horrible. But they use them in all the products. Why? Because they're very, very cheap to make. For example, pick up almost every diet soda. What's the sweetener in here? Aspartame. Sugar-free sports drink, sucralose and Ace K. Light yogurt with Ace K and sucralose. Oatmeal with Ace K and aspartame. It's really in everything. And Ace K is one of those horrible artificial sweeteners that you can't even find to bake with. It's only in the cheap products in the grocery store. So what is the swap? Anytime you want one of those sweetener alternatives, reach for something like stevia. Reach for something like pure monk fruit, or even a monk fruit blend, or reach for something they don't have at the grocery store here called allulose. These are sweetener alternatives, but they're from plants. They're from real ingredients. And yes, they're processed a bit to get them into a powder, but they're way different than these artificial, completely man-made sweeteners that, by the way, can be linked to things like dementia and disrupting your gut and microbiome. We have to switch to the better for you sweeteners. And next up, I'm going to show you something that will be much better off if you switch. And by the way, look at this stat right here. The subscriptions are going up, right? I always tell people, if you're watching at this point of the video, you got to subscribe. And we got the number under 80%. So you are smashing the subscribe button and joining the community of 10 million plus. You don't want to miss out. I'm doing videos like this multiple times a week, and if you subscribe, you will never miss a video. There's a reason why our cereals are so brightly colored, and there's a reason why these cheese balls have a Fukushima orange color to them. It's because they use artificial colors, and because they also use artificial flavors. You know, there's only one rule the government has about artificial flavors and colors. They can't be remotely real. They have to be 100% fake. And they do that also to make us hooked on their products, to hijack our taste buds and make us crave more of them. Let me show you some examples. Here, these are fruit roll-ups geared toward kids. Artificial food coloring. Fruit punch sports drink. Artificial red number 40. Vitamins with artificial coloring also. Toaster pastries with many different artificial colors on there. Some berry blend with a little red 40. And some strawberry frosting with artificial flavors and artificial colors. You know what the crazy thing is? Kids' products tend to have more of the coloring than adults because they want the kids to get hooked on the food, and bright colors do that. The crazy thing is the food manufacturers will make a version of this in the US that has coloring, but then the same version in Europe that has no coloring at all. They'll use like beta carotene or beetroot. Why don't they do that here? Because they want us hooked on their crappy products, and they're all about profits over people. And by the way, do you know that studies show artificial colors are linked to behavioral issues in our kids? Thank you for the round of applause. And if you're putting that stuff specifically in kids' foods, it starts them down a real bad spiral of health issues. Let's follow the money, like she says right there. So avoid the artificial colors, avoid the artificial flavors. I will give a little bit of a golf applause because Doritos recently came out with a naked version that has no artificial colors and no artificial flavors. Now, yes, technically it still has horrible ingredients, but we're making a difference. They're listening to us little by little. And next up, I'm going to show you another secret ingredient they're hijacking our taste buds with. What do you think makes these Doritos so addictive, or this ramen soup so crave-worthy? It's MSG, monosodium glutamate. And can we just settle the debate? It's horrific for our health. MSG is man-made, designed for one reason and one reason only: to hijack our taste buds, to send a signal to our brain. Yummy. I want more of this. I am hooked on it. Now, there is something called naturally occurring MSG, which you can find in aged Parmesan cheese, mushrooms, tomatoes. That's good. That's natural. But the man-made one is completely fake. And that's why when you look at Doritos, you'll see it right there, monosodium glutamate. That's why when you look at almost every type of bouillon cube, it's right there, MSG. And when you look at ramen, it's flavored with MSG. I don't know about you, if I eat something with MSG, I get warm, I get flush, I get a headache, and I wake up in the middle of the night and my pores feel like they're on fire. It's a real bad reaction. They put it in there because it's cheap and they're all about profits over people, which is the opposite. So my friends, stay away from those foods in 2026 and we're gonna thrive. Leave a comment down below. Let me know which one of these swaps you think is easiest. And if I missed anything, you let me know down there too. See ya, bye.